Hi, everyone. My name is Edward Nimmer Williams. I don't mean to be formal, but part of my story is my name. First name is Edward, and my middle name is Nimmer. The last name is Williams, and the middle name is German. Yes, I'm Afro-American, and I'm third generation, born in Chicago. But my middle name is Nimmer, which was my mother's maiden name, and my great-great-grandfather in New Orleans was enslaved by a Jewish slave owner whose name was Nimmer. And my great-great-grandmother was Cherokee, and she was 12 years old when she saw my great-great-grandfather. They fell in love, and the slave owner let them marry. As a result of that, they had 8 children, and from that situation on, I was created, and I was born in a movie theater. Yes, born in a movie theater. I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'm going to be reaching a milestone birthday on the 11th of October this year. But I'll give you some hints based on my story. My mom was home alone the day I was born because of the fact that my dad, who was 18, she was 17, they were married, was picked up by my uncle, her brothers, to go to Gary, Indiana to work in the steel mills during the First World War. And so she decided that she was going to go to the movies. And the movie theater was called the Owl, O-W-L, which was only about 200 feet around the corner from our house at 47th and State Street. 47th Street was like 105th Avenue in New York. It extended for about 3 miles with so many grocery stores, supermarkets, movie theaters, wrestling gyms, department stores, etc. And at that time, the movie theaters opened at 10 o'clock and films started at 11. And they changed their schedules 3 times a week. So I was born on a Thursday, and Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays they had triple programs. My mom loved Betty Davis, she loved Kay Francis, and she loved Joan Crawford. So this was a treat for her, waiting for me to be born by going to the movies, and I think she paid only 25 cents to go into the movie theater. And that time of day, they only had an usher, a ticket salesperson, and the manager of the theater who also worked the projection. So Mom went in, and according to the story, she sat on an end seat and watched the first film, or at least part of it, and all of a sudden she said her water broke. And she said she did not scream, she only yelled, "I think I'm having my baby." And she said no one paid any attention to her because in those days, the good old days, the audience talked back to the screen, either to the character or the storyline. So no one paid attention to her. And she said she yelled a little bit louder and said, "I think I'm going to have my baby." And the usher ran down to check her out. And indeed her water had burst. So the usher ran back up the stairs to the manager who was operating the projector and said, I think a lady is going to have a baby here in the movie theater. And he thought that the usher was joking. So he comes downstairs and comes to my mom and says something like, oh my God, you are going to have a baby, aren't you? So he said to the usher, you stay with this lady. He ran to the box office and said, no more tickets are to be sold. And he turned on all the lights and said to the audience, which was predominantly women, I'm sorry that we cannot show the movie. We'll return your money. But if you want to wait in the lobby, you can. There's a lady here that's going to have a baby. And my mom was really cool, so she was aware of everything that was going on. So she said quite a few people came over to her and said, what can we do? What can we do? How can we help you? So the manager said, I'd like some volunteers to help carry this lady out to the lobby and upstairs to my projection room. The ambulance and the police are on their way. So they carried my mom out to the lobby. They were about to carry up halfway to the stairs, and I popped out. And about 2 minutes later, my mom is not quite sure how she was carried to the hospital. Pretty sure she was carried in an ambulance or a paddy wagon. She can't remember. And the Cook County Hospital is on the other side of the south side. And they rushed her. Oh, by the way, as I said before, I popped out. And so whoever showed up to carry her to the hospital had a blanket and wrapped both of us up in the blanket and carried us to the hospital. And that is the way, I should say not the way, but that's where I was born, in a movie theater. So for the next 60 to 70 decades later, I have never missed going to the movies or seeing 2 films either a day or 4 to 6 films a year. I love movies. As a result of my birth, one of the many jobs that I have, I teach film history. I teach the culture of film, as well as having, I would say, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 films in my home library, dating back to 1913. My entire family loves films. They love it with a passion. And now that I'm the only survivor on both sides of my family, which is the Nimmer and the Williams family, I'm the only survivor of both sides of the family. And I thank them very, very much for everything that they had given me, and the wisdom and the love and the independence. Just a footnote to my birth. When I was 5 or close to 6 years old, my mom said, Edward, you were born 20 years too late. And I said, Mom, what do you mean I was born 20 years too late? She said, you should have been born during the time of the Black Renaissance. And I said, Mom, what is the Black Renaissance? She said, that's where people like you, and I was only 6,